Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Dakota, the place where we uncover the hidden stories within the world of business and finance. Today we are diving into a very interesting situation for a company that seems to be making some big moves. Get ready because we are about to decode what this official report really means for everyone involved. And before we dive in, if you love getting clear explanations of corporate filings, then make sure you resubscribed. Also, check out the link in the description for our Discord community where we discuss these things live. So what we have here is a form called an 8K, which is like a special announcement that companies have to make to the public when something major happens. Think of it as a headline alert for investors and anyone else interested in the company. This is just a fancy way of saying they are following the rules set by the government for reporting important news. The date for today's announcement is the 12th of February 2026, but the really big news happened a few days before that. This is the core of the story right here. Great Lakes Dredge and Dock Corporation, a company we've talked about before, is being bought. And not by a small player either. Saltchuk Resources Incorporated is acquiring them. The price tag is significant, around $1.2 billion for the ownership stake, and a total of $1.5 billion for the whole deal. This is a huge transaction in the corporate world, meaning a lot of things are about to change for Great Lakes Dredge and Dock. So while they are reporting this on the 12th of February, the actual agreement was made a couple of days earlier on the 10th of February. This is standard practice to get the news out as quickly as possible once the deal is official. We are talking about Great Lakes Dredge and Dock Corporation here. This is a company primarily involved in dredging services, which means they are experts at moving sand and sediment, usually for improving waterways, building ports, and protecting shorelines. Think of them as the heavy equipment operators of the water world. Now, you usually see information about where a company is legally set up. In this case, it was incorporated in Delaware, which is a common state for businesses. Their stock, which represents ownership in the company, is traded on a major stock exchange called NASDAQ under the ticker symbol GLDAD. This tells us that people could previously buy and sell shares in Great Lakes Dredge and Dock Corporation on the open market. But that might change very soon. Now, for some immediate consequences of this big acquisition news, because they are being bought, Great Lakes Dredge and Dock Corporation has cancelled a planned meeting where they were supposed to discuss their latest financial results. They were going to talk about how much money they made and spent in the last few months of 2025. This is pretty common when a company is being acquired. The focus shifts from regular operations to completing the sale. They still intend to tell everyone their financial performance for the end of 2025, but it will be released later, likely as part of their annual report. So while we don't have those specific numbers in this update, we know they will come out eventually. The focus now is on the sale itself, and who is signing off on this official report. Scott Kornblau, who holds the important title of Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. This shows that the company's top financial leadership is aware of and approving this announcement. Now hold on a second, there is a slight discrepancy here. The report is dated the 12th of February 2026, but the signature date says the 12th of February 2015. This is almost certainly a typo in the original filing, and based on the context of the report, we should assume the signature date is also the 12th of February. 2026, aligning with the report date and the event dates mentioned. It is important to note these little details as sometimes they can be clues or just simple human errors. Now, looking at this from a broader perspective, what does this acquisition mean? Saltchuk Resources Incorporated is essentially buying Great Lakes Dredge and Dock Corporation. This suggests Saltchuk sees significant value in Great Lakes Dredge and Dock's operations, their market position, or perhaps there are synergies they can achieve by combining the businesses. For investors who held Great Lakes Dredge and Dock stock, this typically means they will receive a premium price for their shares compared to what the stock was trading at before the announcement. This is why merger and acquisition news is so closely watched. It directly impacts the value of shareholders' investments. One of the key things to consider when a company is acquired is the future strategy. Will Saltchuk integrate Great Lakes Dredge and Dock into its existing operations, or will it continue to operate as a standalone entity? The report doesn't give us those specifics yet, but the sheer size of the deal suggests a significant integration is likely for the employees of Great Lakes Dredge and Dock. This period can be one of uncertainty as they await news about potential changes in their roles or the company's structure. We don't have the specific financial tables from the quarter this time because the earnings call was cancelled, but the information we do have is about the acquisition itself. This is a major event, far more impactful than small quarterly fluctuations. The $1.2 billion equity value and $1.5 billion total transaction value indicate that Saltchuk Resources views Great Lakes Dredge and Dock as a valuable asset with strong growth potential or a dominant position in its niche. What are the risks now? Well, The biggest risk for any acquisition is that the companies cannot successfully combine their operations or cultures. If Saltchuk Resources and Great Lakes Dredge and Dock have very different ways of doing things, it could lead to inefficiencies and problems. Also, there might be regulatory hurdles that need to be cleared before the deal is finalized. Although the report doesn't mention any specific concerns in this filing. In conclusion, this 8K filing is all about the big news that Great Lakes Dredge and Dock Corporation is being acquired. This is a sign of maturity and success for Great Lakes Dredge and Dock, as it has become an attractive target for a larger company, for Saltchuk Resources. This is likely a strategic move to expand its reach or capabilities. We will be keeping a close eye on how this acquisition unfolds and what it means for the future of both companies. Alright, that is our breakdown of this important corporate announcement. What is your take on this acquisition and what it signals for the future of Great Lakes, Dredge, and Dock? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.